Jean said it keeps getting higher for all situations. Situation 1, R is greater than 1. What's going to happen to Tn, regardless of what A is? Well,
Keep getting bigger.
not regardless of what A is. If A is negative, it will matter. It will keep getting bigger.
Your trend will infinity.
Does that make sense? If R is greater than 1, we start with the number 1, say R is 2, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, we keep going on and on and on forever, correct? It gets further and further away, something that looks a bit like this. Now if I started with a negative number, it would do this. Cool? Happy with that? So I should write bigger in magnitude. Ooh, that covers me for both situations. Which just means the size of the numbers get bigger and bigger and bigger. What happens in the situation that R is between 0 and 1?
You'll get closer and closer to 1.
So let's say R is a half.
0.
What's going to happen to our number? Tn what's a half to the power of 3? Yeah, 1 on 8. What's a half to the power of 5? 1 over 32, correct? If we keep going on and on and on, what's going to happen to a number? If we have a number and we divide it by a really, really big number, what happens?
Yes.
It gets smaller, but it was a really, really big number. So if I have $5 and I divide that amongst 7 billion people, how much does every person get?
Quite a little less than $5.
Pretty much a lot less than $5, yes? Pretty much nothing, correct? So if I said, look, I want to be generous, that I'm going to give every person in the world a share of my $5, how much does everyone get?
Less than a cent.
What's going to pop on your bank account? 0, correct? So if we divide a number by something really, really large, it tends towards 0. Does that make sense? 3. So in this situation, it does this. What is the situation where R is less than 1? Morning, how are you? Yeah, good. R is less than negative 1, sorry.
It'll go up and down, but it keeps getting bigger.
It's going to go up and down, correct? So it's going to look something like this. And it's going to get bigger in magnitude, correct? So what do we call that? Does anyone who does physics know what we call that? Starts with O.
Oscillating.
Very good. Tn oscillates, grows in magnitude. And the last situation is 4, in by which R is greater than negative 1 but less than 0. What's going to happen?
The opposite of 2.
So it'll get closer to 0, but it will oscillate.
Very good. So it'll still tend towards, Tn will tend towards 0. However, it will oscillate. It's really good that we understand what's going on there, because I'm about to give you some rules, and rules are great. But it's really important that we understand why they work. So if I was asking us to create a geometric sum, so what is a geometric sum? What do you think that means? What do you think that would mean? Adding the progressive terms in a geometric series, correct? Some of these are not going to be very helpful. Some of these I won't be able to apply the geometric sum for. Who can see a situation where a geometric sum is not going to be particularly effective? Which one of those options? 1, 2, 3 or 4?
3.
3 and 4?
2 and 4.
Who thinks option 1 would not be relevant to a geometric sum? Sorry. I forgot to add a word. We know what a sum is. To infinity. Who thinks that a geometric sum to infinity would be a waste of time question for the first exam? Luke does? Does anyone else agree with Luke or not? Who thinks it'd be a waste of time for question 2? Who thinks it'd be a waste of time for 3? And 4? I agree with Luke. Luke should have had some more friends. Why is Luke right? Luke, do you want to tell us why you're right? Just guess.
Waste of time.
Why is it a waste of time?
Because you just wasted time doing it because you're already knowing it gets bigger.
Correct. Seems a simple answer, but it's a simply correct answer. What's it going to add up to? What does Tn tend towards? Infinity. So what am I going to add up all the numbers? What am I going to add up to? Infinity. Waste of time, correct? With this one, the magnitude oscillates. Very, very challenging for us to actually make any meaning for number 3, because depending on what the last number is, when we're tending to infinity, we're not assigning a number. We're not saying, well, infinity is 9,999,000. We don't just give it a number. We give it an infinite value, and depending on whether it's odd or even, it's going to be oscillating up and down, correct? So that's also a bit of a waste of time. These ones, however, are not. Why are they not?
Because you know what they'll trend towards.
They're going to trend towards a value, correct? So if I start at 4 and I half my value every time, I'm going to go 4 plus 2 plus 1. What am I up to? 4 plus 2 plus 1. Come on. 6 plus 1. 7, okay. Plus a half.
7.5.
Plus a quarter. Plus an 8. Plus a 16. Plus, you get the idea. What's happening as we go further and further away? What's happening to the value? It's getting bigger and bigger by a lot of by a really, really small amount. You can probably tell me what that number is going to tend towards. So let's start that again. 4 plus 2 plus 1 plus a half plus a quarter plus an 8 plus a 16. What am I getting close to? 8. So the number is going to tend towards 8, correct? In this situation, it's going to be much the same. It's just we're going to have, it's going to go 4 plus negative 2, which is 2 plus positive 1 plus negative a half plus positive a quarter 2 3/4 plus negative an 8. Do you see the process there? But do you understand that both of those are converging on a value? Happy with that? So these two, so when R, the magnitude of R is less than 1, what does that mean? What does that mean in layman's terms?
The number is less than 1.
R must be greater than negative 1, but less than 1. R cannot be 0. That's what that means. So if that condition is met, and we'll rub it out. If that condition is met, we can apply a sum to infinity. This is because our value is converging. Cool? And let's go through and look at the formula specifically. S infinity equals T1 over 1 minus R. I think there is an R minus 1. I think it's 1 minus R. No. 1 minus R. Happy? Cool? So we'll go through a few practices, but if we're happy for that, let's rock and or roll.